Today, we are discussing one of the most important advances in public health, the cervical cancer vaccine. We will understand what cervical cancer is, how the vaccine works, who should take it, and the molecular mechanism behind its protection. Now let's first talk about what is cervical cancer. Cervical cancer begins in the cells of cervix, the lower part of uterus. Almost all cases are linked to persistent infection with certain high-risk human papilloma virus, which is also known as HPV types. These HPV types can silently damage cervical cells for years before symptoms they appear. To understand better, we need to know what is HPV. HPV is a group of more than 200 viruses. It spreads mainly through close skin-to-skin contact or sexual contact. Most infections, they clear naturally, but some high-risk types, they can cause cervical cancer, anal cancer, throat cancer, other genital cancers as well. These cancers, they develop slowly, which is why early protection is very important. Research goal. At Research Goal, you will find research-driven courses that offer real research skills, data analysis training, and publication support. And best of all, it is incredibly affordable, costing less than other platforms. Join Research Goal today for free. Check out the link in the description box. Coming on to the most important part, which is what is the cervical cancer vaccine? The cervical cancer vaccine helps the body to build immunity against the high-risk HPV types that can cause cervical cancer. It is preventive vaccine, not a treatment, and works best when given before the exposure to HPV. Now let's understand molecular mechanism, that how the vaccine actually works. The vaccine contains virus-like particles made from L1 protein of HPV. These particles look like HPV from the outside, but they carry no genetic material, so they cannot infect or replicate, which makes them extremely safe. Moving on to the activation of immune system. So after injection, what happens is antigen presenting cells, they take up the virus-like particles. They display part of the L1 protein on their surface. This activates helper T cells, which can then further stimulate B cells. This will lead to the production of neutralizing antibodies. B cells, they produce high affinity antibodies against the HPV L1 protein. Some B cells, they turn into mammary B cells, staying in the body for many years. Now let's talk about how the blocking of HPV infection happens. Later, if real HPV enters inside the body, these antibodies, they will bind to the virus immediately. They will block the virus from attaching to the cervical epithelial cells. The vaccine prevents the very first step of infection, stopping the disease at its root. Alright, now let's talk about the recommended age for this vaccine. 9 to 14 years, that will induce strong immune response, and fewer doses are needed in this case. 15 to 26 years, still highly effective in this particular year band. 27 to 45 years, it is possible, but after consultation with a doctor. More importantly, both girls and boys benefit from the vaccine. Let's talk about the dose schedule. 9 to 14 years requires only 1 to 2 doses. Older age groups may require minimum 3 doses. But follow the schedule advised by the healthcare professionals for maximum protection. Okay, let's talk about the benefits of HPV vaccination. Strong protection against HPV-related cervical cancer. Second one is reduced risk of other HPV-associated cancers. It can induce long-lasting immunity. And the final one is significant reduction in HPV infections at a population level. Countries with high vaccination coverage have observed up to 90% reduction in HPV infection. As far as the safety is concerned, the vaccine is well studied and extremely safe. Mild side effects like fever, arm pain, or tiredness may occur briefly. No serious long-term risks have been identified with this vaccine. Cervical cancer is one of the few cancers that can be prevented through vaccination as well as through awareness. Understanding the science and the mechanism help us make informed as well as confident decisions. Let's protect our loved ones against this serious illness. If you found this video helpful, please do like, share, and subscribe to Biology Gold for more simplified and more accurate biology content. Thank you so much.